Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to the Chop Sports YouTube channel for this very, very special interview as it's Sturch and Gooch, and we are sitting down with a local legend in Colonia, New Jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Lou Grasso. Lou, what's going on, man?
How's it going, man?
It's going great. I want to first thank you for coming on to our live show earlier today, and if you're watching this, it is premiering here on our YouTube channel, which continues to grow, so if you like what you're seeing, hit subscribe. We appreciate you. But look, man, we got you on here, right? Your family, first of all, drilled me to get you on. And I'm like, well, of course, like I just didn't know your schedule. I was just like, he's a busy dude. And you had to clear it with like, the weightlifting and all this other stuff. Like, I'm just glad we finally got you in here.
Yeah. Well, my family's, the best. We're a pretty tight group, a pretty deep group.
The lineage.
I could co-sign that, man. They've done a lot for Chop Sports. They opened a lot of doors for us in the early going in the Grasso family. I'm forever grateful for what they've done for Chop Sports in the beginning, for sure.
We've known Gooch forever, and we've grown to know you really well. So, we just want to be help us any way we can.
Yeah, man. So obviously this year in particular, you're the head coach of Union High School.
Yeah.
You guys go 9-1. The season ends the way it ends, where we all tried to. How many signatures did you get on that thing?
I know thousands
of signatures trying to get you guys to play.
Yep.
Obviously, the game was postponed because of COVID and was never played, and it's the rest is history.
Yep.
We don't want to get in the harp on the bad stuff. We want to talk about the good stuff, and we're talking about this year in particular. First of all, a little backstory on Coach Lou Grasso. This isn't your first rodeo. You've been coaching now. You coached under your dad. You started over at Roselle as the OC, and then you moved on over to
New Brunswick for a little.
New Brunswick as the OC.
No, I was a
head coach.
No, I was special teams.
Okay.
They had a pretty established staff, so I was there for a couple years. Both my brothers were there too, so I went over there with them for a couple years. Then I went back to Roselle as the. Then I went to Union as the OC after that.
And then now, the history is showing that he is now the head coach. Now again, bro, first of all, that playoff game, I just looked that up as far as the stat line. Pretty impressive over Livingston. I mean, that 41-3. Your boys have been showing out. Like,
it was a great group we had. I think 7 of our 10 games were running clock, meaning you got up by 35 or more. So we had a really dominant group. We had a really great group of kids that were just, tough on Friday nights. And that Livingston game was another example. It was a close game early, and then they kind of caught their stride, and we got away from them a little bit.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And obviously the reason why, or one of the many reasons why we have Coach Grasso on here today is because just as of recent, a couple weeks ago, the news broke that you will be on the coaching staff for the All-American Bowl in San Antonio, Texas. That goes down on January, you said it before, January 8th of 2022 in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Oh, unbelievable. It's one of those things I've watched it for years and seen it. It's one of those things you think of, man, maybe one day. And, luckily enough, we have a big recruit this year who's in the games. I think that's a lot of the reason why you kind of get included, because our players in the game, which I'm thankful to him as well. I think I called him 5 minutes after, like, thank you, because it's a real great opportunity. It's something I'm really looking forward to.
Now, what exactly is going to be like your role? Like when you're on the staff, I mean, I know you're not, I don't know. Do you call the plays? Are you just out there quality control? Like what do you do?
I spoke to one of the coaches, I think one of the coaches from Pennsylvania is the head coach the other day, just, coaching position, which I've done, I was an assistant coach for a long time before I was a head coach. So I'm pretty comfortable. Whatever facet they need me, I told them whatever you need me to do, I'll do. I think I'm coaching a special team. One of these, I think they divvy up the special teams. But just, being around the team and getting ready for a game in a week, which is tough.
Yeah. I mean, you're on the sidelines right away, Coach.
Now, typically, do they do anything as far as group position drills and things like that where they're going to be clocked and actually do any type of combine thing?
I think at this they do, because I think there's a crazy stat, like 2/3 of the kids that play in this game end up in the NFL.
Which is amazing, because you're going to get to meet a lot of future stars and potential Hall of Famers. Like when you really think about how it's going down, just the coaches you're going to meet and
just
the doors that are going to be open.
You figure there's going to be some kind of, I'm sure there's some people.
When are you going out there?
January 2nd.
So you're going to be down there for a week before this game's even played.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So first of all, Texas is the greatest place on earth.
Well, San Antonio, I've never been there. I heard it's beautiful, the Riverwalk and all that. It's right where we are. So
it's very Texas. San Antonio.
Let's meet a lot of these recruiters and the coaches that are going to be there. Think about the amount of people that are going to go to the high school All-American Bowl.
Yeah, it's really,
as far as coaches,
it's something I'm really looking forward to. I was really excited about. I mean, they call and, you want to know, you don't want to know on the spot. I said, listen, I call my wife and just, and she's like, hey, you gotta. So I was thinking that already anyway. And I called him back like 5 minutes later. He's like, usually it takes like 15 minutes. And I'm in at this time.
Yeah. And what do they reach out to you? Email? Like
no, I get a phone call.
Phone call.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a guy I kind of know from, we've played at some neutral site events at Union where you meet some people that are regional guys, and it was the regional guy for the games. That's great. Some other stuff. So yeah,
that's great, man. I mean, that game in itself is Texas breeds football, and then you get everybody, all the greatest high school athletes in the country are coming together for one bowl game, which is nuts. So cool. As far as going into this game in particular, you said you have the one kid going, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want to shout him out by name or anything like that. I'm not going to.
Davison Igbinosin, he's first team All State. Was the
what position?
Defensive back. He played offense for us as well, but he's first team All State kid for 2 years running. Unbelievable player. He's got 30 plus offers.
So you said that he's gonna. You told me he's gonna announce it there.
He's gonna announce on it. They do it. It's one of those games. If you watch, they do it on the sideline. They bring you out with all the hats and stuff. He's gonna do it at the game.
That's so cool. And do you know of any particular schools that he's gotten offers from?
I think it's 4 or 5. Oh, that he's got them from.
Yeah.
I mean, almost everybody except for no Alabama or anything like that. But he's gotten Ole Miss, Kentucky, Tennessee, Rutgers.
All the 5 majors checked off.
No Pac-12. No Pac-12 because they don't really come.
Yeah, they're not over here.
Really come out here. But he was a great student. He got all the Ivies too. So
wow, great.
Yeah, so he's a great student as well. So I think his Final 4 are Rutgers, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Ole Miss.
We can use you at Rutgers, kiddo, if you want. I mean, we definitely need some.
You wouldn't believe how many times you get asked, and I don't want to put pressure on him.
No, of course not.
Influences it, so whatever he wants to do is great. They're all good decisions. So we'll see how it goes.
You might know a little something about somebody who just graduated Rutgers and is officially done, right? Mike Tvrdoff.
2 other guys on the team too, actually.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Who else?
Oh, Davison's older brother Desmond,
okay,
and then Amir Robinson is a receiver at Rutgers.
Awesome. Yeah. So we had Tvrdoff in here. He had glowing things to say about you.
Well, Mike's family, man. We say that all the time in our program, family. But Mike was a freshman my first year as a head coach at Union, so we pretty much lived this whole thing together the whole time. And he's just best kid, great family. We've had nothing but great experiences together.
That's got to be something to be said, that to watch your kids that you've coached get to college, get to that next level, awesome, even get to the league. I mean, that's going to happen. I don't know if it's happened already.
Jesse Holly.
Well, that's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, that is.
He hooked it up.
I was an assistant. My dad was the head coach. I was an assistant, but I was like his.
And what about Casillas?
Joe coached him.
Oh, okay.
But that's so funny. You bring up Jesse Holly. That's you hooked it up. I had him on my other Jersey Boys podcast. We talked about the infamous play in the San Francisco game, and he's such a.
So who's going to be Joey's
storyteller, by the way?
Now Dan's got an All-American in wrestling. You got an All-American in football. Joe had
Brandon Smith at New Brunswick.
So all 3 of the Grasso coaching lineage have coached an All-American.
We've been very lucky.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
that's a notch in your cap, regardless of luck or what. But you have to have some impact on these young kids because
try to.
So good on that. I mean, I'd love to see what's going on. Paz was in here the other day, and it was probably my favorite interview that I've ever done. And obviously, that's no disrespect to Tvrdoff, but Paz, I'm a wrestler, so Paz. And
you've done it.
And I wrestled in the same room as him. And I'm probably going to challenge him to a first takedown the next time he comes in.
Ooh, you are out of your skull. I know it's all tongue in cheek, but it's like,
bro, remember yesterday, Tvrdoff he's got me, bro.
He's a monster.
Unbelievable. Well, shaking hands with Tvrdoff is a little more intimidating.
He walked in here, he had a duck under the doorway. He's gotten so much bigger. We had him in the beginning of the summer, and I feel he got taller.
And
somehow.
If Mike's listening, he will know. He can attest this. When I first met him, what he looked like, he was tall, but he was just lanky, skinny kid who just worked really hard, and he worked really hard the whole time. And he had a goal from the beginning. Most of these guys who reach these things kind of have an idea when they're young that this is what they're trying to do, and they don't let anything get in their way. So he's worked for this. That's what makes it so gratifying. Since I've known him, this is what he's been working for.
Yeah, I mean, as you guys are watching this, and if you've caught the Mike Tvrdoff special, he did declare for the NFL draft. Yep. He is a product of Lou Grasso and that entire, the lineage, at least the family.
Product of Pete Tvrdoff, his brother.
Hard work, and Shiano. There's a lot going into it.
A lot of guys. Mike's a special kid, man. Most of these kids are special kids because it just makes it more fun and more, exciting to be involved in stuff like that.
Now, when you're trying to get these kids ready for the next level, like college and whatnot, obviously after you're done with college, you go on to the combine and you try to walk on to these NFL teams. What do you tell these kids, at the end, when it's coming towards the end, a team like now, like this 9-1 squad that you just put together, that they're just pretty much world beaters based off the scores that you've seen. And I know you're a humble guy and you're not going to say that, we beat the brakes off all these teams. I get it, but you did. And, but what do you say to these guys to prepare them for the next level? A lot of these guys, one thing to coach this kid in the All-American Bowl, but there's a lot of kids that want to play football at the next level. Yeah. How do you get those guys prepared?
Well, the funny part is he's the easy guy for recruiting. So in other words, I have 15, 16 other kids that I'm trying to find a spot for. It's much more difficult.
Right.
Just because they don't quite have the measurables or they're great players, but it doesn't always match up perfectly. Usually we try to run our program day to day, kind of like a college program on the field. So the way we go about our practice, what tempo we use, we try to make it so when they get there, it's kind of like the same thing. Now, obviously, the talent level is different, the competition is different, but we want them to, we're screaming and yelling all the time about every little thing, trying to get them going and get them moving to to make sure they understand what kind of tempo and what kind of effort's going to be needed when they get to the next level.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's again, I'm always curious to know, like, these are kids after all, you know what I mean? You have to take that in consideration. They're kids, but they're maturing right before your very eyes, and you got to get them ready for the next level.
They remind you they're kids all the time. Trust me. There's plenty that goes on a daily basis. You have to be reminded they're kids. So like, we played, last couple of years we played music at practice every day, and I let them pick, as long as there's no curses, they pick the music, whatever. And
clean versions, everybody.
Well, I cannot believe how many times I've had to scream one of my assistant coaches, because it's in the press box. I hear one word like, oh, it's right in the middle of the town.
Right.
But and you watch them the first couple of days. Listen, we're dancing now. We're not playing music. We're dancing all practice. Now, if someone makes a big play, we let them have fun because you want them to have fun. This team in particular, I mean, anytime we scored at anything, it was a possible penalty coming because it was just celebration central. And they're a fun group, and they just, we were trying to make a video actually for our end of the year banquet of just accumulation of celebrations.
The TD
there was a lot of reason to. So it was a
lot of touchdowns.
Did anybody hit the gritty at all this year?
If I know that, probably.
What Justin Jefferson
dance?
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure. They're talented and they have various different celebrations.
For one, I'm all for it. I have definitely an old school approach to some of the way I watch football, but as far as the celebrations go, I don't mind that one bit. I feel like these guys should be able to have fun and show their personality. All the other sports, they get their face out there. In football, they encourage the team mentality as far as celebrations go, and these guys got to wear their helmets. So get your name out there, get your face time, if you will, when you do something good in the league.
I always think as long as it's not derogatory towards the other
of course
team,
and you don't want to hurt your team, and you don't want to hurt your team. Like there's obviously
and the referee could be like, that's enough, and then just toss the flag or toss the kid.
Dopey ones, like one of my worst ones ever, Mike Tverdoff, his senior year, made a sack in a big game and got up and did the Usain Bolt bow and arrow. I would kill him. And we got a penalty. I mean, and we didn't.
Takes away from the play. I mean, it does.
It was a great play, but and he made so many great plays that it was okay, and it was a rare thing for him. But like, it just happens, and some of these refs, like they're ready to throw a flag as soon as they step on the field.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's just some of them just let it go.
Calls.
Some of them could think the way I think, and they don't mind it. And then some guys might be like, "No, I'm going to clean this game up."
Luckily, a couple of our guys were so fast. Like Davis was so fast, he did a celebration before the ref got down. Like one time, I mean, he should have got a flag. No doubt.
He was done with his dance, already on the sidelines by the time the ref.
My guy out top's like, we're getting 15, no doubt. And then I'm looking around, nothing happened because I'm watching the ref
sprint down the field.
Oh, he was an 80-yard touchdown. By the time he got there, he was done celebrating. We were running back to the sideline.
That's great.
So it was it was a fun team though, man. They just so talented. It was just so, like you said before, just brutal how it ended, and just one of those experiences, man. You have a lot of experience coaching. It was a tough one, really tough one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, the whole town, a whole community came together, tried to get this game played. And obviously, look, you can't control what's going on in the world today, right? But you can control, trying to get these guys rescheduled or get the game back on. And it's such.
There's so many things.
I was so angry for you. And I know you're probably you coached the team, so like I can only imagine.
I was more sad. It was like
just an empty feeling,
Yeah, I was laying in my house,
just feeling incomplete.
Like,
really?
Because listen,
I mean,
you're
I
in the
guess.
thick of this thing from July. Well, it never ends. Like we had weight room yesterday,
right?
But you're in the thick of it from end of July until then, and you're thinking about this. You have your family stuff. Obviously, you take care of your work, but then you're thinking about the next opponent from then on.
Yeah.
So like we're playing a state semi. It's the 12 o'clock the day of the game, so we're locked in on who we're playing. All of a sudden, it's over.
Right.
And
it's not right, and all the hard work with that one goal.
Yeah, and
right.
So you're telling me they couldn't reschedule the game, bro?
I don't.
It's so defeating to think about.
There's no real they to it. It was a one person decision, and it's like I probably shouldn't really get it too far into it.
Don't want to get you in trouble.
It's just one of those things. It was just I never.
Very unfortunate.
Yeah. And like you said, when you're doing lifting now, you're talking about winning the state championship now.
So your all-season program's already begun for next year.
Yeah, if you have to.
It leads me to my question. Now, you hear about these coaches where they just can't turn it off, where it's 24/7 football, and mostly I hear that about high school through even the NFL level, where these coaches, it's like you have to pour your life into it. How do you turn it off?
Easy, man. My family's great. I have 3 daughters, and they don't talk about football.
Yeah,
my wife doesn't want to either.
You're telling me they're not going to be like the camera crew following you around for your.
Well, listen, I'm
sure they are.
They get pumped up. They get they're involved when I involve as much as I can because I love my you want to be around your family.
Yeah, of course.
And my brother's on the staff, so but I'm pretty good about that. Our staff is good about that. If you come to our table, we sit at a table for hours together before the game. Very seldom we talking about football until we have to.
Yeah.
So until once the plan is done, we're screwing around, making guys do busting chops and talking about whatever else. I know guys like that too, and sometimes I think those guys get burnt out fast.
Yeah,
and
it affects their family life.
Yeah,
not to speak on that for other people, but yeah, you would have to manage.
It's a constant grind,
just like anything else. And you have to have your priorities. If my family's first always, so it's not a hard thing for me to do.
It's great. That's great. One thing I do want to touch on, because it's very prominent in the world today as far as the world of college sports. Now, I was asking you before how you mentally prepare these kids and get these kids ready for the next level. How do you feel about this NIL stuff? Because honestly, that's where Chop Sports kind of took off, because we signed a lot of guys with us. We had Paz to Verdoff.
Yeah, that's the doors that I was talking about him opening for us in the family opening. It was through Paz to Verdoff.
Yeah, it was a lot of these guys like you got to get
more
these
clients coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying. Do you think this changes the game as far as a recruiting standpoint? Because now you have your individual that plays defensive back and wide receiver and whatever he's going to be doing, whatever he fits, he's going to have this All-American Bowl. Yeah. But how much of this influence do you think what these schools are saying, like, hey, we're also going to give you this?
Yeah, I don't know if they could really do that. I don't know what the rules are per se when it comes to, I don't think you can say come to our school and we'll get you this NIL or how that really works, to be honest with you.
That's more of a booster thing where there's guys.
But it isn't, because it's a slippery slope, because you don't know what, they're going to figure out a way to, someone's going to figure out a way to cheat this.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it'll be changed again.
They'll re-govern the whole thing, and they'll make new rules.
You can't believe the ambition of some people involved in college football. And I'm not even talking about the people professionally, people outside of it, and the boosters and the people involved.
The guy that owns the car dealership in town. Right. You don't know what he's going to do. He could. That's what it is.
True.
It could be just. It could be fans.
Schools you can't believe. I think the quarterback at Nebraska made over $1 million.
Yeah.
That's insane.
The kid,
nothing else there.
The kid that just transferred from Ohio State took 2 snaps this year, made $1 million, and then now he's going to Texas. Never took a snap
and left.
Yeah, and it's just it's kind of at this point over my head where I'm just like, hey, guys, we can get something, get it. Just make sure.
Right. So I'm saying I'm not particularly telling you that you're encouraging it, but you got to let them know the world's changed.
Yeah,
man.
I think the easiest thing to do is especially in college, there's just a compliance officer in the building.
Correct.
So anything that happens, don't be shady. Just be upfront, be honest, and just and try to tell them that with everything. Just be honest, because it's easier to be honest.
100%.
Guys out there that are shady, and it just makes it so much more work. Just tell the truth and figure it out, and someone will help you. Otherwise, it becomes something where you're ducking and dodging.
I think it's a little more of the top recruits in certain select positions, receivers, quarterbacks. They're the ones that you might see get introduced to a guy. I don't know that they're doing it for every recruit, but you don't know. I mean,
don't be naive, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't turn our eyes to this. It's gonna
be anybody, and I've never experienced it with any of my kids. But I'm sure it's out there, just because it's just so much money involved. Think about what the Jets complex is nice. You ever seen a Jets complex inside? It's really nice.
Well, that Florham Park,
it's nice. I mean, it's nice. It looks like the Shed compared to LSU's.
Yeah, no, college facilities are insane.
They have to get kids to come. Jets draft you.
Yeah, you're there.
So you're there.
Right.
College, the business
they got to woo you. They got to
cannot believe the
even the Rutgers facility.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. I'm seeing these. They're posting their stories dancing after wins. I'm like, that's where they
unbelievable.
That's where their team meetings are.
I would look forward. I mean, I would look forward to it anyway. But that's where you get to go. It's.
You won't believe it. To them, it becomes normal.
Right.
But you cannot believe what these complexes, these facilities look like. It is out of this world. You can't believe it.
It's crazy. But I got to know, just because from what are your goals for this All-American Bowl? What do you want to get out of this? As far as are you just looking for the experience? Are you looking to make your connections? Union High School is probably taking great care of you, right? What are the goals? The short-term goals here?
I was have a good experience, go have fun, meet some people, and I'm networking. I mean, I know a good amount of people. I'm pretty comfortable where I am. I don't think college coaching is something I necessarily want to do.
No aspirations.
It's a different life. It's just, you have to, we talk about family. You're away from your family.
I was just going to bring that up. You're talking about that aspect of it and how that's important.
I've seen the majority of the
coaching,
movies.
you got to get sent on the road to recruit. It's just a whole other
kind of thing where if you meet say you meet your wife, whatever, and you're already doing that, that's how your life is. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I like it.
And at the same time, you probably have to take a position coach job and then work your way up through the college ranks.
Yeah, so money. I mean, listen, we all got bills.
Right.
The guys, you do all right as a teacher after a while. It's tough to get a position that pays a really, a comparable amount of money as a college coach. So it's, logistics come into it too.
No, I'm just wondering, because everybody has, obviously you worked your way up to where you're at now. And if this is the end game, I'm not saying end game, you're going to retire anytime soon, but I'm saying if this is where you want to be, then you're there. And I'm sure the union's going to take good care of you for as long as you want to do this.
You know, it's something I've definitely thought of. It's something I got kind of offered an opportunity right after I was done playing to be a graduate assistant. But at that point, I was like, you know, I want to go have fun. I've been playing football my whole life. So, you know, I've thought about it. Obviously, people have asked me about it, but I think you know, it's pretty much what I'm supposed to do. What I need to be doing is what I'm doing right now. So I'm comfortable.
Cool. Very cool. Look, there's so much that we can get into. We'd be here for hours, right? But I do want to get your opinion on something, or at least your predictions, because this is, after all, like, you coached high school, but you're also knee deep in the college football game and the pro game. I got to know, do you find that who do you got going to win the national title in college right now? Do you have a team? Like
well, Rutgers. I played at Rutgers. So
you played at Rutgers, so that's your squad. Okay.
Also
Nebraska.
My mother is from Nebraska. I had an uncle who played at Nebraska, cousins.
That's awesome.
So that we were Nebraska, the only Nebraska.
How
fans
deep is
this? Dude, I remember.
It's no, it's not. That's a whole other. That's my.
But that's still like it's a football bred whole thing.
I just remember, like, I was closer in age to Joe, so I wrestled with Joe, and he's always been Bears and Nebraska since day one, and Mets. Yeah,
well, Nebraska, we didn't really have a choice either. Nebraska, we were younger, and also, listen, my uncle played for the Bengals, Buccaneers.
So that's what it was. You got your choice in the NFL, but in college it was Nebraska.
You know why? Because my dad coached football on Saturdays, and you know what he didn't want to do on Sundays? Watch football all day.
Yeah.
So on Sundays we kind of did stuff outside, and we watched football. But like we did football all day.
He was footballed out.
I mean, listen, my favorite thing to do was a little kid. I was waiting at 7:30 in the morning to go to Roselle. It was my favorite thing to do. So Sunday we were like, but this game is cool, but it's not as cool as the Roselle game yesterday. That was the best thing ever. Oh. So that's how kind of we were raised. So.
Are you wired like that as far as, like, because I know there's a lot of people that are like, college is way better than the pro product as far as like entertainment value and like fanhood and like.
It all depends. Crazily, it all depends on a lot of things. Like, my fantasy guy's going, NFL's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, college, if I have someone.
If Nebraska's dominating, then you're going to be all in on Nebraska.
It all depends on how you relate to it. So, I mean, we've been lucky, my family, to be involved where we kind of may know a guy here, may know a guy there. And it makes it just all the more personal. Like, one of my favorite moments in football history is Jesse Holley against the 49ers.
Oh.
And I can't stand the Cowboys, but for that, when he was there.
All right, truth be told, was he showboating or was he extended for the goal line?
He was extended for the goal line.
That's exactly what
Jesse Holley's a winner.
He's a winner.
Dude,
it was, I'm the only one, like, when watching that game live, shout out to RIP Fox and Hound. That's where I was for that game, right? So he's running. He tells the story great. It's amazing.
Listen, he is, if you didn't know, I had him in 8th grade in health class.
Yeah.
It was the biggest pain in the neck in history. And he was telling me all the stuff he could do. I'm like, yeah, right. And typical, and next thing you know, his 9th grade, he's first team all county. But if you'd have seen him play basketball,
that's what I'm saying.
He was a great football
player. His recruiting class was, for college was all about basketball.
One of the greatest high school basketball players I've ever seen. And I was lucky. I was young enough where I was in security every game. It was the bet. We followed him. My wife still talks about when we followed him to, the States and the Tournament of Champions. Like, he had 46 points in the Tournament of Champions game. We lost by 1. Unbelievable.
46 points.
But that day, I'm telling you, my calf, I thought I tore my calf the day with the 49ers. I was jumping up and down screaming like a maniac.
He was gone, man. He was gone.
The hated Dallas Cowboys.
I don't want to hear anything about Showboat. He was extending that ball, trying to score the touchdown. Nobody wants to believe me.
Jesse's a winner. Afterwards, he got a little excited, but who can blame him?
No, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, he's looking up and
we're close to this day, me and Jesse. We went through a lot. I was a young coach. He was getting recruited. And we spent a lot of time together. We had our arguments and even tussles, but we were really, really close.
He now does a pre and post Cowboy show out in Texas. I mean, that guy's personality is so contagious.
It's always been like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you've known him forever. I've known him for a week and a half. It feels like, you've known him for all his life, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
It's awesome on pre and post game in the second row in 8th grade health. It's not. You want to shut? All right, take breaks for commercial here so I can talk.
Oh, in health class, if you got a guy like that in health class, it's like tailor made. There's layups, bro. In health class, there's a fast break layup.
He had his couple buddies. This is 1999, I think, or something like that. It was a nightmare every day. I would dread that 45 minutes, and then I started to appreciate they were funny.
Yeah, and then
shout out to Jesse Holley. I know you're going to watch because you know what? I'm going to clip this up and I'm going to show it to him.
But how is it when they're like, they're funny, but your job is to be the disciplinarian and you can't really, it's like, oh man,
I've been doing it long enough now where it's, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny, but it's tough sometimes because, it's a slippery slope teaching high school health.
Yeah. No, I believe that. Well, Lou, man, we want to thank you for coming
thank
on
you
in
guys,
here.
man.
Obviously, there's a whole lot of, there's an entire Chop Sports nation, if you want to call them that are rooting for you in this game. We're excited about it. I know every one of your family members shared it within the Chop Sports Facebook group. We're all excited. So we're proud of you, obviously, and just keep doing what you're doing. Got anything else, Gooch, man?
Yeah, thanks for the swag. And bro, open door policy for all the Grasso family.
All of them.
Easy. There's a couple now. Hold on now.
They'll be banging the doors down.
Yeah, there'll be 37 people here.
Especially the Pop Warner, greatest Pop Warner coach of all time.
Coach Sam, my cousin Sam was my Pop Warner, one of my Pop Warner coaches. He tried to give you a concussion before every game, hitting you in the helmet. I told him, hey, stop hitting me in the helmet. My ears were ringing. I used to have first kick on my head would still
Warren
be ringing.
Bennett would whack me with the whistle in the back of the helmet. You ever get whacked with a whistle in the helmet?
We had a lot of and those guys. Sam was one of my assistant coaches at Roselle. Helped out when I was at Union. We've been doing this all together the whole time. Right. So it's we're
great.
Yeah, we're tight, great, man, and that's how we are.
All right, man. Well, look, good luck to Coach Lou Grasso in the All-American Bowl in San Antonio, Texas, going down in 2022, January 8th, right? Got that right? So tune into that one. It's going to be broadcasted pretty much everywhere you can watch high school football. Yeah. So congratulations. Thank you for coming in. This has been another Chop Sports special right here on the Chop Sports YouTube channel, and we'll see you guys next time.
Appreciate it, guys.